In this study session, we will discuss about diurnal motion of stars, which is a part of positional astronomy included in the astronomy and astrophysics syllabus of semester 6 DSC 4 Physics Honor CBCS. We will discuss about diurnal motion of stars, what is it, about diurnal circles of stars, and about the motion or movement of stars, why stars moves from east to west on the sky. We learn rising and setting of stars depending upon local coordinate of an observer. We will study the cause that some stars are not visible at all to some observer depending upon their location. Also discuss about circumpolar stars, what they are, and the condition for a star for being a circumpolar star for a particular location. And at the end, we'll discuss about Sun as a circumpolar star in the polar region. To start the discussion, we'll take note of the following facts. There, fact 1, every stars are assumed to located on a huge sphere called celestial sphere with Earth at it. In this picture, we see the Earth in a to some extent exaggerated form compared to the size of the celestial sphere, but celestial sphere is uh, huge, very large, and it is so large that uh, the Earth appears to be a point located at the center of this sphere. Here, this dark blue sphere is the celestial sphere with north celestial pole at here, and here the south celestial pole, and axis of rotation of celestial sphere is coaxial with the axis of rotation of Earth. Also, the equatorial plane of Earth and that of celestial equator uh, are on the same plane. Fact 2 is axis of celestial sphere is taken to be coaxial with the axis of rotation of what? Equator of celestial sphere is taken in the same plane as the equator of what? What I have mentioned just now. And the third fact is, due to the vastness of celestial sphere, every observer on Earth is considered to be at the center of the celestial sphere. Now, we all know observer on the Earth's surface observes the sky from their local coordinate system, which is horizon coordinate system. Any spherical coordinate system must require uh, two things. One is a great circle and another a specific point on that great circle. Now, horizon coordinate system, as we have studied earlier, is defined by zenith, nadir, azimuth, and altitude, and fundamental great circle being horizon. We have already studied the zenith is the uh, point on the celestial sphere which is just overhead of an observer on a particular latitude on Earth, and nadir is just diametrically opposite point on the celestial sphere. Horizon is the great circle that intersect the celestial sphere drawn through the drawn tangentially uh, at the point of location of observer to the Earth's surface. We also know that any point on the celestial sphere in the horizon coordinate system is measured by two parameters. One is the azimuth, which is a arc starting from north point to the foot of the star, measured towards east, and altitude, another parameter, which is measured along the celestial sphere and which makes an arc at the center of the earth, and this arc sustains a angle at the center of the arc. This angle or this arc, this angle or the arc which sustains the uh, angle at the center of the earth gives the azimuth and altitude. These two parameters are required to specify the location of a star in horizon coordinate system. We also know that altitude of pole star to an observer, or altitude of celestial pole to an observer at latitude lambda on Earth's surface is equal to lambda. Now, to carry forward our discussion, we all know that Earth rotates about its own axis in a time a little longer than 24 hours from west to east. In this picture of celestial sphere, we consider Earth at the center, and its direction of rotation is shown here from west to east. As we all are on the surface of the earth, so to us every celestial object will appear to be moving from east to west. That's why we observe that stars are moving on sky from east to west. This is the answer to our first question which we have raised at the beginning of this session. Now, these circular paths of rotation of stars on the celestial sphere is called the diurnal circle of the stars. As the stars are moving about the celestial axis, their center of rotation will lie on the axis of the celestial sphere, and this axis of celestial sphere is coaxial to the axis of rotation of Earth. We also notice that all the diurnal circles of all the stars are parallel to each other, and they are in turn parallel to celestial equator. The diurnal circles of stars, or the tracks of movement of stars on celestial sphere, are all circles parallel to celestial equator as well as the equator of Earth. On the two-dimensional projection, these tracks or diurnal circles will appear as parallel lines, and if the photographs are taken of these tracks near the polar region, we will find that they are making concentric circle about a common center which is coincident with the celestial pole for uh, that that region of the celestial sphere. In time-lapse photographs of stars on the sky, these tracks are called star trails. Look here, this is a time-lapse photograph of the sky taken near one of the pole, and we find that these tracks of the diurnal motion of stars are perfectly circular, parallel to each other, and they are centered around a common center which is coincident with the pole. Either it be a north celestial pole for north polar region, or it will be south celestial pole for uh, southern part of southern pole of Earth. Now more about the diurnal motion of stars, rising and setting of stars at different locations. We we observe that stars at a particular location on the sky uh, rises and sets at different times. Different stars rises at different times and sets at different times, except at the equator or pole. Also, we observe that some stars rises later and uh, sets early, whereas some other stars rises early and sets later. That means uh, the second category of stars spends a longer time on the sky above horizon than the first category of stars. Why these things happens? We see here this pale blue circle is the horizon for an observer situated here. This horizon intercepts the celestial sphere in some slanted manner. It is not parallel to the celestial equator, but it is making some angle with the celestial equator, and hence it cuts the diurnal circles of different stars in unequal proportion. Different stars tracks have been truncated differently. Now, as you see, the star trail or star track, which is intercepted by the horizon, only a small portion of the track has been intercepted over the horizon, will stay on the sky of the observer for a shorter time. It will uh, appear later, and it will set or go below the horizon earlier and spend a smaller time. On the other hand, the diurnal circle, the most of the maximum portion of which has been intercepted by the horizon uh, above the horizon, will stay at the sky of the observer for a longer time. This is the cause that some stars spends lesser time and some stars spend a bit longer time on the sky, and they rise and sets at different times. From this figure, it is also clear that rising of stars initiated when the horizon intercept a particular trail. Just when the star is just above the horizon, we find that uh, that particular star is rising, and when the trail of the star is just below the horizon, we say that the star is setting. So it is very much clear from these pictures that some stars rise late and sets early and spend lesser time than some other stars. And we also see from this figure that some stars like this one, which remains always above the horizon, it never rises or never sets. So these stars will be uh, visible above horizon all the time if the ambient situation of seeing the star is there. Such stars are called circumpolar stars. We will discuss about the circumpolar stars a bit later. One thing we have to mention here, that the star which is always uh, below the horizon of the observer, such stars will never be seen by the observer. As we have raised the question that depending upon the location, some star will never be seen by observer of some location. This is the cause that this star will never be seen by this observer, as it is always below the horizon of the observer. Now, what are the observations of star trails on the poles of the earth? Here we see that observer is standing here, and celestial pole. Celestial poles are coincident with the zenith and nadir of the observer, and horizon coincides with the equatorial plane of the celestial sphere, as all the diurnal circles of stars are parallel to equatorial surface. Hence, this observer will see all the stars on northern hemisphere of the celestial sphere to be moving on circular orbits parallel to its horizon, and these stars will be circumpolar. All the stars will be circumpolar to that observer, all the stars on the northern hemisphere of the celestial sphere. But all the stars at southern celestial hemisphere will not be seen by that observer, because those stars are below the horizon for that observer. And to such an observer, the trails of the stars will appear to be circle, which are uh, centered about a common center, as it is shown in this figure. Here, this common center coincide with the celestial pole, and all the uh, tracks of the stars are perfect circle parallel to each other. Now situation is to some extent different at equator. Here an observer is standing in this position. To this observer, horizon is just perpendicular to the celestial equator. Hence, horizon of an observer at the equator will intersect celestial equator as well as all the diurnal circles of all the stars just in semicircles. Hence, equal portion of circular tracks of all the stars will be above the horizon of such an observer. Hence, these observers will see that uh, diurnal tracks of the stars are parallel to each other and they are perpendicular to its horizon, and all these stars will rise simultaneously and set simultaneously for such an observer. In other words, all the stars spends same time on the sky for an observer at equator. There is another observation here that uh, all the stars of northern hemisphere as well as southern hemisphere of celestial sphere will be visible to an observer at equator. So, for such an observer, star trails will be like this one. These trails are perpendicular to horizon at here and here, and uh, they are centered about common center which is at horizon. This is because in this case the north celestial pole and the south celestial pole is on the plane of the horizon. That's why the center of this uh, star trails are is being observed at the horizon. Now we discuss about the circumpolar stars. What are circumpolar stars? Those stars which remains always above the horizon at a particular latitude are called circumpolar stars for that latitude. As for example, this star is not going below the horizon of an observer situated here, and hence this star is a circumpolar star for this observer. Now, what is the condition for a star to be a circumpolar star for a particular observer at a particular latitude? This is calculated to be delta here is declination of the star. Declination if be greater than 90 degree minus phi, that is the latitude of the location of the observer, then this star will be a circumpolar star for this observer. Now, how we get this relation? Let us try to find the answer. Here we see the uh, dashed line showing the diurnal circle for this star X, and we see that Sn is the horizon for this observer. The horizon is the great circle which passes through this line and perpendicular to the plane of this screen, and this white circle is the celestial equator which touches the meridian, that is this circle drawn in color gray at the point R and at the point T. Now, according to uh, equatorial coordinate system, we finds that declination of this star is measured by the arc Jx, and or the angle subtended by this arc at the center of the earth. We have to find out this declination in terms of uh, the latitude of the observer. As we know that pole star, the altitude of pole star with respect to an observer at a latitude phi is exactly equal to phi. That is, the arc Pn substance and angle at this point, at the point of at the center of the celestial sphere, an angle of phi. Now, as the point T is on the meridian of this observer as well as on the celestial equator, so the arc Jx is parallel to the arc Tn, as n is situated on the circumpolar uh, on the star trail of the star X, and all the star trails are parallel to celestial equator, and T is a point on meridian, N also is a point on meridian, and they are both on the star trail of this star, and T is on the celestial equator. So Jx is parallel to Tn. Hence, the arc Tn subtends the same angle as Jx, which is equal to delta, the declination of the star X. Now, the arc TP is 90 degree and the arc NP is phi. Hence, the arc Tn will be given by 90 degree minus phi. Hence, the declination, if greater than or equal to 90 degree phi, 90 degree minus phi, then this diurnal circle will always remain above the horizon for this observer, and this is the condition for a star to be circumpolar star with respect to some observer on some specific latitude. Now, if we consider about an observer at equator where phi is equal to 0, then delta for such an observer coming out to be 90 degree, that is, a star which has declination greater than 90 degree will be circumpolar for an observer at equator. But we know that maximum declination a star can have is 90 degree and it can be greater than 90 degree. Hence, there is no circumpolar star for equator. On the other hand, all the stars of northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere of the celestial sphere are circumpolar for North Pole and South Pole respectively, because for polar region phi is equal to 90 degree, and hence delta condition for a star to be circumpolar is coming out to be delta greater than or equal to 0. Hence, any star which is above the horizon will be a circumpolar star. And as we know, at polar region, uh, horizon coincides with the celestial equator. So all the stars of northern hemisphere will be above the horizon at North Pole. Hence, all the stars of northern hemisphere will be circumpolar star for North Pole, and all the stars of southern hemisphere of celestial sphere are circumpolar for South Pole. Next, we will discuss about the Sun as a circumpolar star. Now, we know that Sun spent 6 months above horizon at North Pole and at South Pole. Uh, we know that there is a day of 6 months duration at the polar region, and there is night of duration 6 months at polar region. Now, why this phenomenon happens? Let's see this. Here we see that a time-lapse photograph of Sun at polar region. We find that Sun is moving on a circular path which is just parallel to the horizon. Now, why this happens? To understand this phenomena, we have to look at this picture. Here, the red circle indicates the celestial equator, and the green one indicates the star trail of Sun, which is called ecliptic. Now, ecliptic plane makes an angle of 23.5 degree with the celestial equator, and hence the Sun will be above celestial equator from a point called vernal equinox to other point autumnal equinox. Here equinox are the point of intersection of ecliptic with celestial equator. There are two equinox, vernal equinox and autumnal equinox. Vernal equinox appears on 21st of March, and autumnal equinox occurs on 23rd of September. Now, on 21st of March, the Sun starts moving above the celestial equator, and it comes to the northern hemisphere of the celestial sphere, and it stays at the northern hemisphere uh, of the celestial sphere as long as the autumnal equinox takes place. This is a time span of 6 months. Over this period, Sun remains above the horizon, above the celestial equator. And as we know that at polar region, horizon coincides with the celestial plane of the celestial sphere. Hence, the sun remains above the horizon of North Pole. And as we know, all the stars above horizon at North Pole are circumpolar. Hence, sun becomes circumpolar. It moves over a circular path over 24 hours. And after autumnal equinox, sun comes to the southern hemisphere of the celestial sphere and remains at the southern hemisphere until the next vernal equinox. Over this period, sun becomes a circumpolar star at South Pole. That is the reason behind the sun remaining uh, above horizon all the time at a stretch for 6 months near North Pole and South Pole. This is all about our discussion about diurnal motion or diurnal motion of stars, and I hope you have understood all the questions appeared in regarding this section, and I also believe that you enjoyed it. We'll meet again with some other video lectures on some other topic later on. Until then, thank you all.